Good afternoon, or good morning, good evening if you're watching this later. Welcome to the class today. Today we're going to look at something called Pandicular Movement. And this is the natural movements that you see like animals do when they get up from a nap or a stretch. You see little kids do. And we have this capacity. Sometimes we'll do it. We're sitting in the chair, and you get that feeling of like, oh, I just need to ease this off. It's a little different from passive stretching. It's an active, energized, mobilizing of the body. And over time, it's actually much more effective at relaxing your muscle tone, relaxing your muscles in the long term. So I'm going to invite you guys now to think about that. Think you're like, oh, maybe you're just getting out of bed in the morning, or you're just getting off your chair and you're a bit stiff. Like, what does your body want to do? Just find some like natural, stretch it out without stressing or worrying, just letting yourself move it around, nice long motions, just to bring ourselves into our bodies. Yeah, beautiful in space, like, where is there maybe some restriction that you want to find some more space? And then come to stillness and just feel that. Notice the natural opening that your body can go into. And the more, apparently, animals and kids do it about 50 times a day. And this is part of my sense of movement is medicine, that the more frequently we can get mobility, the right kind of mobilizing energy through our body, energy that is both energizing and calming, the healthier our tissues are, the less stressed we are, all of that stuff. So, start to bring a little bit of this movement into your extremities. Have a look at your wrists and hands and wriggle your fingers. Good. And then maybe bring it up into the elbows. And here we're just moving and mobilizing a little bit, not stressing about getting it right or anything like that. And then maybe into the shoulders. And just play with it, have some fun with it. Yeah, good. Nice. And then bring it into the ribs a little bit. It's just feeling your ribs move around. Great. Then feeling maybe the waist move around. And the hips. And the knees. And the ankles. Brilliant. And then again, just take a moment to pause and rest into your body and just feel how you feel. Often we feel things, but we ignore them. So just let yourself feel the sensation of the body beginning to open up and perhaps some movement of energy coming through. Beautiful. We're going to take a position at the front of the mat. Feet at hip width, raising up the toes, spreading them wide, and placing them down onto the mats. Bending the knees and letting your sit bones sink gently down towards the heels. Taking a breath in, hands go out and up. And then exhale to the heart. And maybe have a little bit of this playfulness, this energy. Breath in, hands out and up. And exhale of just playing and extending and feeling through the space. Breath in. Naturally. This time, hands out and up, breath in. And exhale, bring the hands down, forward fold. Let yourself get soft and long from the sit bones down through the sides of the back, the spine, the neck, the head. Let the breath be long and soft. Good. Gently grip with the toes, come onto your fingertips, bend the knees and look up, flat back position, breath in. And then breath out, long, deep forward fold from the hips.
Good. Inhale, gently come up again, flat back. And then we're going to step back onto hands and knees. As you exhale, bringing the knees to the floor and the hands underneath the shoulders. Take an inhale, let the belly come down, lift up the heart, lift up the sit bones. Take an out breath and round it all out. Again, inhale to let the belly come down, lift up the heart, lift up the tailbone, and exhale to round. One more time, breath in, belly down, head and tailbone up. Exhale to round. Good. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, knees out wide to the edges of your mat, toes touching, coming back, hips towards the heels, child's pose. Taking a nice rest here. And in the attitude of self-acceptance and playfulness, when we feel sensations in the body, our work in our practice is to welcome them, to open emotional space, mental space, to let them be as they are. Good, taking an in breath, come back up. Exhale, adjust your position, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, toes tucked. Breath in, belly down, head and tailbone up. And then exhale, press into the hands, take the hips back, and come to downward facing dog. You can have the knees a little bit bent here and focus into your arms, growing your arms long, having your back be long. Inhale and rise up, right up onto the toes, and exhale, knees to the floor. We'll do that a few times. Breath in, belly down, head and tailbone up. Exhale, round. Inhale, neutral. And exhale, crumpled dog, knees bent, hips high. Inhale, rise. Exhale, knees to the floor. Breath in, belly down, head and tailbone up. Exhale, round. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, dog. Inhale, lift high onto the toes. And exhale, knees to the floor. Breath in, belly down, head and tailbone up. Breath out, round. Breath into neutral. And exhale back, downward facing dog. This time I want you to walk the dog. So bend one knee and extend the other heel towards the floor. And then swap it over. And keep going, nice and slow and deliberate. A little bit of an amble to the pace of this walking. Good, then again, breath in, high up onto the toes, exhale, knees to the floor, belly down, head and tailbone up. Exhale and round. And come to neutral, breath in, take the knees wide to the edges of your mat, breath out, hips back to heels, child's pose. Have a little rest. Let the arms relax. Beautiful. Breath in, come on. Breath out. Align your hands under the shoulders and knees under the hips. Toes are tucked. Breath in. Breathing out, exhaling to downward facing dog. And inhale to step forward along your mat. Look up, flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Rolling up, bend the knees, breath in nice and slow up to a standing position. Exhale and ground, and then give yourself a moment just to move that pandicular movement, just stretching it out, however feels good to you. And then a little shake. Yeah, excellent. So I want to talk for a moment about the psoas. We're going to work today into the hip flexors and the psoas a little bit. And an interesting thing I learned the other day, I hadn't thought about it this way, but the psoas muscle, where it joins up into your spine, the kidneys actually sit right at the top of the psoas muscle. So the psoas muscle is connected to your adrenal system, is connected to your stress mechanisms and fight or flight. So if you think about when we're in a fight, flight, I need to mobilize, the movement is this, okay? And that's the psoas contracting. So it's this contracting kind of energy. And then when we're out of the threat and we can relax the body, it's an extension. So we're going to practice moving safely and comfortably through both the contraction and the extension and have energy, once again, that is both energizing and calming for our system. So standing, excuse me, in Tadasana in front of your mat, toes slightly pointed in, hands to the hips. I'd like you to step your right leg back for your warrior feet. Hands onto the hips. We're going to balance out the hips and go in slowly, taking a breath in, turn your body to the side, lift the arms all the way up overhead. And as you exhale, bend the left knee and come down to warrior two. We're going to hold for 5 breaths and make adjustments to get this opening through the hips and pelvis. See if you can soften through the belly, but not collapse through the lower back. Softening through the belly, but still grounding strongly through the sit bones. Beautiful. That's it. Pressing down through the back edge of that back foot. Letting the breath take you deeper. If you've got more space to feel lengthened and lifted as you inhale, let that happen if you can, if it feels safe and good to you. And then if you've got space to soften and deepen more into the sit bones or the hips, let that happen too. Good. Breath in, rise up. I'm going to flip the feet, turn the left toes in and the right toes out. And then exhale. Find warrior two on this side. Allow yourself the freedom to adjust, to move the feet a little bit, change the position of the hips, and find your way in a way that's right for you. Experiment, letting the breath move through you, energize you as you breathe in, soften you as you breathe out. Excellent. Let's go again, breath in, come up to the center, flip the feet. Stay upright here and exhale, take your hands out shoulder height. Inhale to a reverse version here. So your right arm will come down and your left arm reaches up. Think about reaching from the hip up the side body and taking a little bit of a back bend. Now I want you to hold here for a couple more breaths. And keep your awareness around the hips and lower back and notice where you start to feel a gentle pulling and an opening and a lengthening. Allow your breath to let that happen. Can you soften underneath that lengthening? Really good. Nice. We're going to reach up, inhale. Try to keep that length now through the side body. Push the right hip back a little bit, extend the left hip, arm long, and we're coming down to Trikonasana. So left hand, you can rest it here on the thigh and have the right arm on the hip, or you can lift the right arm up and you can gently walk that left arm down if you want to come lower with your Trikonasana, your triangle pose. Keep feeling into the thighs and the muscles of the inner leg, the back of the leg, the hip. Good. Breathing in, coming up. All the way up. Exhale, flip the feet. Bring the arms back down to shoulder height. Reverse warrior, the left arm onto the left thigh, and as you breathe in, lengthening up through this right side. So we're looking for space here in the body. Where will the body allow us to spread and open? Good. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Trikonasana. We extend through that right arm. Take it down onto the left leg. Raise the left arm. And then feel in. Let yourself shift and adjust to find more space in the inner right leg. More space in that right hip. More opening along the top of the left hip. Between the hip and the ribs. Nice. Inhale, rise. And then exhale, just turn your right foot in, arms out. The arms come down to your hips. You're going to breathe in here, lift up long through the spine. And take a wide leg forward fold. So exhaling, here we go. Compression, contraction coming into these hips. So we're alternating, lengthening and contracting. Come all the way forward. An option here to rest the hands on the floor, onto the ankles, or taking hold of your elbows. Let the neck and the head be long and heavy and soft. Good. Softening in the knees, coming onto the fingertips. Inhale to a flat back position. Then I'd like you to place your right hand onto the floor as you exhale. And your left hand is going to come up here, breathing in, and help you to open up the body to a twist to the left. You can rest your left hand onto your sacrum, on your lower back here, or you can take it up into the air. Working these right ribs up into the body and forward. Anchoring the hips in space. We don't want the hips to twist. Good, and then soften back down to the center. Replace the left hand onto the floor. Breathe in, draw those left hips forward, ribs forward and up. Peel up the right arm. And feel into your twist. Good, and then release back to the center. Bend the knees and roll up to stand. Breath in, all the way up. Exhale to ground.
We're going to turn your feet out to a 45-degree angle here. And then coming to sit into a bit of a martial arts stance. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, tracking the knees out over those ankles towards those toes. Coming to a high squat. Good. You can take your hands out to the sides, breath in, take them up. And then exhale, hook your left elbow into your right and wrap those arms. Good. Breath in, fingers up towards the ceiling. Breath out, draw the elbows to the chest and round the upper back forward. So you're upright, but you're just curling. 2 more, inhale. And exhale. 1 more, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come all the way up, straighten the legs. And exhale, gently release the hands. Breathing in, hands out and up. And here we exhale, bring your hands down, make fists, take your elbows down as you extend the knees out to the sides. It's called a goddess pose. So the elbows are in line with the shoulders, 90 degrees at the elbows. That's it. Good. Breath in, hands out and up. And bringing the right elbow into the left, wrapping the forearms here. Inhale to lift the fingers up towards the ceiling. And exhale, elbows to the chest and round. Inhale up. Exhale, round. Inhale up. And exhale, round. Inhale, rise, straightening up the legs. And exhale, release those hands. Good. Hands are back on the hips, breath in. Last pose in this position. Exhale, again with the legs. Bringing your hands to rest down onto your thighs. So we're going to go as low as we can here. Hands on the thighs. So you can feel the weight of your hands kind of growing your thighs and gently extending and lengthening out of the hips. That's it. Good. And if it doesn't feel good in the knees, just leave this one aside for now. Taking your breath in, exhale and bring your left shoulder forward, pressing that left hand back. So you're just inviting a little more space into this left hip. Breath into the center. A breath out, bringing the right one forward. Inhale to the center. Exhale, bring your whole left shoulder forward. So you're in a slight twist here. Breath into the center. That's it, going the other way. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Last one, inhale to center and to the left. Beautiful work. And then relax. Woo. Come back, shake out those legs. But have a feel into the fronts and sides of the hips, really deep into the hip flexors, and just notice if there's a little more aliveness there. So we want to feel in the joints and the muscles of the body more aliveness. And movement and mobility done in the right way helps us to feel that rather than to feel worn out or like we're jamming the joints or it's too hard or negative injurious experiences. Good. You may want to, I'm not sure, see how we go with balance here. I'm going to work a little bit into the outside of the hips. So wrapping your left ankle, I think what we'll do is we'll just put it forward here. So your left heel in front of your right toes. Okay, so it's a little bit of a balancing exercise as well. That's it. As you breathe in, taking the arms up. And then catch hold of your right wrist here with your left fingers. I'm going to bend to the left. That's it. Good. Whoopsie, I'm falling over too. Inhale, come up, and exhale to release. Nice. Bringing the right toes in front of the left toes. Sorry, right heel in front of the left toes. Breath in, arms up. And we're going to catch hold of the left wrist now. And as we exhale, taking the body over towards the right. So you will feel into the psoas, into the hip flexors. Nice stretch for the digestive organs as well. Good. Inhale up to center. And exhale. Release it down. Shake it out. Beautiful. Have both of you got chairs there that you can grab? Yeah. Okay, so let's, and those that are watching later, I'd like you to grab a chair now. We're just going to do a psoas release. So frequently, again, just jamming into an area with a passive stretch or pushing into stretching activates the stretch reflex response in the body, which is basically you're trying to stretch and open and relax the muscle. The muscle thinks that there's a danger of you overextending, and so it contracts. So you're trying to stretch and lengthen it, and it's pulling back against that. So we don't want that. One of the ways that we can get around this is through reciprocal stretching, which means having resistance. So we're going to do a little bit of a resistance exercise to soothe the psoas muscle, okay, which runs from in here. There are two sections to it that come up onto the inside of your hip bones, and the longer ones that run up to the bottom of your spine. So sitting towards the edge of your chair, good. Feet are flat on the floor. And you're going to place your hands, interlacing the fingers, onto your thigh. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to lift that knee and push away with your hands at the same time. You're going to hold it there for 2 breaths. And then release. Bring your hands to the other leg, to the other side. Inhale. As you exhale, draw that knee up towards you and resist with the hands. 2 breaths in place. And back down. Beautiful. Let's do it again on the other side. Inhale. Exhale, draw the knee up, resist with the hands. I'm just going to hold it for that exhale and then set it back down. And we'll do it 2 more times on the same side. Breath in. Exhale, draw the knee up and resist. And then let go. Final one. Inhale. Exhale, draw the knee up and resist. And then release. 3 on this side. Breath in. Exhale, draw that knee up and resist. Release. Inhale. Exhale, draw the knee up and resist. Release. Inhale. Draw the knee up and resist as you exhale. And release. And then just stand up and feel. Just take a moment to feel what it feels like in these hips. The aim of that exercise gives us a little bit of additional mobility and stability. So it strengthens and tones the psoas and releases it as well. Great. So keeping hold of our chair, taking it to one side. I'm going to use it just for balance to work a little bit more of into the hip and get some stability going in there. So pointing your left toes out in front of you, hand to your hip, breathe in and lift up your right toes, flex the foot. Breathe out, turn the toes out. We're going to start to trace very small circles with the heel here. So imagining like you've got a pencil sticking out of your heel and you're trying to draw a nice, even, slow, smooth circle. Like maybe an inch or two in diameter. And then go the other way. And keep focusing on holding your attention in the hip, supporting the hip with your mental attitude, finding space. And then breath in, turn the toes back to the center. Feel this hip joint move, and then exhale, release. And again, just notice if it feels different in this left hip versus this right hip, and notice what the quality of the difference is for you. I'm going to swap it to the other side. Right toe tips forward. Breath in, peel it up back towards you. Breath out, toes towards the outside. And I want you to have some energy and activation in this leg. Not like really hard, not like 100% effort, like 20, 30%, but not just hanging there. Good. Then we're going to trace those circles. Doesn't matter, you go the first direction that feels good to you. Maybe an inch or two in diameter. Noticing if you're doing something that looks more like a hexagon or a dodecahedron, and seeing if you can smooth out those edges into a circle. And then go the other way. If it is very jagged, it means that there's a little bit of a lack of intelligence in the hips, of sensitivity. And that's what we're building with these exercises. Good, then turn the toes to the center and release, and then feel both hips for a moment. Nice, good. Moving the chair out of the way again. So when we work the psoas muscle, we support the adrenals and the stress response in the body. And when we stabilize the hips, which kind of divide our lower body from our upper body, we get much more of a sense of groundedness and strength, as well as flexibility and openness going in the body. So let's do a little flow here. Breathing in, let yourself soften and ground through the hips, through the sit bones, take the arms out and up. And then exhale, come forward all the way down to the floor. Fingertips down, breath in, flat back, look up. And breath out, step back to downward facing dog for me. Good. Inhale and rise up nice and high onto those toes. And then exhale, set your knees down to the floor. Breath in, belly down, head and tailbone up. Breath out, round, and tuck the hips back to child's pose. You don't need to take the knees wide. We're going to just keep them wherever they are. Breath in to rise up onto all fours. Now a reverse press up. As you exhale, draw the elbows in towards your chest, bend the elbows back along the line of your body, and set your whole trunk down onto the floor. Press the tops of the feet into the ground. As you inhale, peel the body up and lift the hands up to shoulder height. As you exhale, gently set your body back down. Breathing in to come back up onto all fours. And breathing out to go back to downward facing dog. Very nice. Inhale, step to the front, look up, flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Allow space in the backs of the legs. Inhale, let's roll to a standing position. And exhale to ground. Need a drink of water. Breathing in, hands out to the sides and up. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhale to step back, downward facing dog. Inhale to rise up onto the toes. Exhale, knees to the floor.
Breath in, belly down, head and tailbone up. And then exhale all the way back to child's pose. Inhale up onto all fours. You may want to walk the hands forward a bit. Exhale, that reverse press up. Elbows in at the sides of the body, laying our torso down. Pressing into the tops of the feet. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to neutral. Then exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, step to the front, look up, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll, come to stand. And exhale to ground. Last one, hands out and up. Nice and big here if you can. If there's space in the body and it feels good to, stretching up a little. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, look up. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up onto the toes. Exhale, knees to the floor. Inhale, belly down, head and tailbone up. Exhale, hips back to heels, child's pose. Inhale to rise. And exhale, bending those arms, elbows in at the sides of the body. Come down, all the way to the floor. Tops of the feet on the floor. Breath in, peel up. Breath out, release. And then inhale, coming up onto your knees. Exhale to really sit down and slide off to one side. Bending up the knees, soles of the feet on the floor. Inhale here, hands cupping the knees or just underneath. Lifting up from sit bones. Remember to move that flesh if it lets you access the floor a little better. And then exhale, belly, ribs, chest coming forward, softening forward. Good. Inhale, rise up. And then exhale, tuck yourself a little forward and come all the way down onto your backs. Okay. Beautiful. Bring the excuse me, heels close to your buttocks and place the hands down by your hips, palms facing to the floor. As you inhale, press into the hands, press into the feet, lift the hips up. And as you exhale, really press all the way up into the front of the body. Beautiful. Good, release. Gently smooth the spine back down onto the floor. And our final move for the hips, final couple of moves for the hips. Walk your feet out to the edges of your mat. Take a breath in here. Windscreen wiper action, thighs and knees to the left. And then hook your right ankle over your left knee or thigh. So you're using the weight of your right foot to draw that knee down towards the floor, lengthen through your quadriceps and your hip flexors on this left side. If there's a sharp angle in the knee, just release the left lower leg a little bit, decrease the angle of the bend. Inhale and lift it up. Unhook that right knee. Exhale, windscreen wiper, knees over towards the left. And then we're going to hook that left ankle over the right knee, thigh area. And bringing that down. Remember to use your breath and your intention, your attention, your awareness to soften and release through the tissue. Be with the tissues in your body. One of my teachers likes to say, the issues are in the tissues. Breathing in, bring your knees up. We're going to keep this one hooked over, but walk your right foot back in a bit more center. Breathe in to lift the right leg up now. So you're bringing your right knee towards the chest. Both feet are flexed. And then exhale, wrap the hands around the back of that right thigh, and draw it towards you. So our final hip stretch for the glutes, the backs of the hips. Fantastic. Release that side. Unhook your left ankle. Place the left foot to the floor. Hook your right ankle over the left knee. Bring the left knee up towards the chest. Keep both feet flexed. Exhale, hands around the back of that left thigh. And drawing it in towards you, opening up the right glute here. And see if you can use your attention, your intention, your awareness, feeling to the back of that right glute. And invite it to open. Any sensations that arise as you invite in the opening, welcome them as well. Resistance, pleasure, pain, as long as it's not sharp pain, but just the pain of mild discomfort. And then release. Bringing both knees up towards your chest. And then exhale, draw them in towards your armpits. So we want them here on the outer edges of the body. We take the heels up towards the ceiling and come to a happy baby pose. So you might just grab the backs of the thighs here. You might grab somewhere near the backs of the knees. You might take hold of your shins, your lower legs. Or if you have the space to, take hold of the outer edges of your feet. And you're pressing, so we've really worked the hips today. You may feel a little more opening in this position than you would normally get, a bit more space. Release the hands and draw the knees to the center of your chest. Take the arms out to the side, palms facing down. You're at shoulder height with the arms. Breath in. And then exhale to take the knees over towards your right elbow for a beautiful twist. Coming into that left side of your upper back, mid-back, and just imagining it growing longer and softer and more supple. Excellent. Inhale to the center and exhale over to the other side. Good. Inhale, bring both knees back up to the center. Exhale to release your feet to the floor. And then draw the soles of the feet together and let your knees gently widen and move down towards the floor for Supta Baddha Konasana. I'm going to hold this for a couple of minutes now. I'm going to move because my mat's too slidey and my feet won't stay where they are. And placing your hands onto your lower belly now. And can you just bring a softness, a warmth, a reassuring energy down into your lower abdomen. And for a moment, just feeling the area beneath your, above your belly button. Down underneath the skin. Into your digestive organs and your tummy. Just inviting them to soften. Moving down to an area a little bit below the belly button now. Notice any sensations you feel inside your tummy, inside your lower abdomen. Not rejecting or criticizing any of them. Then taking your awareness into the hips and the opening in the hips. And then gently letting your legs extend, draw the knees up, lengthen the legs along the floor, let your feet fall open. Bring your hands to the floor by your sides, palms facing up. Close down the eyes. Good. I'm going to explain first what we're about to do. It's a pranayama technique, a breathwork technique that's part of yoga. It's very soothing and energizing once again for the nervous system. So rise up into the ribs as you widen the ribs, into the chest as you widen the chest, right up into the shoulders and throat. And then when we breathe out, we just release it naturally. After you've breathed out, you may notice that the body just settles and pauses. Don't force yourself to breathe. Allow the in-breath to come back in naturally. We're going to do both the inhale and the exhale through the nose. So take one breath together, just nice and natural. In and out. This time, as you inhale, feel down into the pelvis, expand out 360 degrees, then the waist, then the ribs, keep going, expanding, filling with breath into the upper chest and the shoulders. And then breathe out through the nose, just as it comes. Wait until the body indicates it wants to breathe in again. Begin inhaling, filling up deep into the pelvis, into the belly, into the ribs, into the chest, and then exhale through the nose. Again, wait for the body to naturally begin to draw the breath in, deep down into the pelvis, into the belly and the waist, expanding in all directions, into the ribs, forward, back, out to the sides, into the chest, forward, back, out to the sides, and then out through the nose. Two more. Inhale, full as you can, down deep. Exhale through the nose. One more. Inhale, deep into the pelvis, expanding out in every direction. Belly and waist, ribs, chest. Keep breathing until there's no more space for breath. And then out through the nose. And just gently notice how you feel. Keep a little bit of attention on the breath in the belly, rising and falling. Notice the different quality of your energy, of your feeling right now. Stay attuned to the breath in the body. Every inhale, a gentle expansion. Every exhale, a gentle softening. Keep softening. Anywhere you notice tension, maybe in the jaw or the throat or the neck. Keep inviting the body to go deeper and softer. Gently begin to deepen the breathing again. Wriggling the toes. A little bit of movement in the ankles. Wriggling the fingers. A little bit of movement in the wrists. And then again, thinking back to that way of stretching we introduced and discussed at the beginning, just let yourself naturally and organically find shapes, ways of moving, like you're naturally following where the body wants to go. So open up. Beautiful. And then come to bring the knees up to the chest. Roll to one side. And come up to a seated position. We're going to join our hands in the position of prayer or intention setting or gratitude. And bringing the thumbs up towards our foreheads here. Softening the belly. Breathing in to sit a little taller. And as we bow forward, just expressing our acknowledgement and appreciation. Breathing out. Appreciation and acknowledgement for ourselves and our practice, for all who have come before us and all who continue to practice around us today. Namaste.